Wishes Fulfilled, Mastering the Art of Manifesting by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Chapter 7. The fourth wish is fulfilled foundation. Your attention, please. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. Neville. As you work at mastering this art of manifestation, you are going to receive a great deal of information, advice, and probably pressure concerning the ideas and objectives you have placed into your imagination. As you successfully ramp up your awareness of your imagination, you will begin to make this private and inner world a more active component of your everyday living. Trusting that what you are thinking is more than just a mental exercise, you will begin living from this new place within you. This inner invisible world of yours will be the source of your new reality. Through determination and unabated intention, you can begin the process of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, imagining it, living it from it in your mind, and feeling it in your body. If you are unwilling to place your attention on a salabris application of all of these new elements, all of your efforts will assuredly be in vain. The key word here is attention. When you decide and begin to use the information presented here to live a wishes fulfilled life, you are going to encounter a great deal of notice in a variety of forms. Friends and associates will offer uninvited opinions concerning this new you and what you're attempting to manifest. Your immediate family may try to dissuade you from making any changes that they think might cause them to feel inadequate or uncomfortable. You'll be presented with scientifically verifiable facts to deter you from believing in your unlimited self. Strangers will relate stories about someone who died attempting to do what you are thinking about. Stories of the absurdity of your desires being manifested will be sent to you in the hope that you will realize that you are not a divine being. You might be threatened with punishment from God or Jesus or the devil or some spiritual deity who's angered and going to put a curse on you for offending their sensibilities. As you engage in the process of living from your highest self, trusting in your own God-realized strength and becoming more peaceful and content, all the while feeling the love you are choosing to align with, your new ideas about who you are and what you can accomplish and become will be noticed positively and negatively. You may have to convince yourself to be steadfast in the attention that you place on the wishes you are going to fulfill. Never let your attentiveness to what you are in the process of manifesting be sidetracked by external pressures of any kind. As Neville reminds you, all progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention. One of the things I love about my new iPad that was given to me by my children is the feature that is called Trash. What a concept. I'd like you to implement this technology in all areas of your life. When you receive information or a request that runs counter to the I ams that you have placed in your imagination, simply push that trash button in your mind and watch it sail over to the left side of your screen and then mentally touch the delete button. This is how you keep your attention focused on what you are manifesting into your life. You are in the flow of a new consciousness that has no limitations. You are thinking, feeling, and acting as a divine being, a part of the universal one mind that knows that all things are possible. Yet you live in a world where this stance is often considered insane and outright preposterous. You have to choose what kind of attention you give to the feedback you will receive. Essentially, there are two modes of attention that you can choose from: objective and subjective. Objective attention is the most common. Abandon it in favor of subjective attention. Objective and subjective attention, it's always your choice. You employ objective attention when you monitor external inputs such as information and attitudes that originate outside of you. This is an important aspect of functioning in your life. However, you need to consciously bring into your awareness your ability to select and switch between objective and subjective attention. With awareness and practice, you will discover that by employing subjective attention first, you almost magically are released from an addiction to external impressions. It is your choice, and the rewards are exponential. Do not give attention to what others do or fail to do. Give attention to what you do or fail to do, is sage advice. Whatever wish you have placed into your imagination will engender stimulus responses, those responses that come to you from the external world. While often valuable as feedback, are things that you are going to work at ignoring if they in any way represent an obstacle to the fulfillment of your dream. Here is what Neville has to say concerning these two disparate approaches to how you should place your own attention. There is an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively, and the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. Becoming a wishes fulfilled person involves learning to strategically employ your subjective attention. Whatever you are placing in your imagination and feeling is present will become a part of your daily life, suddenly appearing in many of your conversations and activities. Television, movies, internet tidbits, and news reports on the same subject will make their way to your consciousness. Contradictory information may appear out of nowhere. There will be friends and strangers who want to express their opinions and share their stories about someone who attempted to do what you are working on. This is when having learned to differentiate between subjective and objective attention and practicing choosing one or both becomes critically important to your success. Start with subjective attention. Put your subjective attention on the I am that you have firmly planted in your imagination, and refuse to allow any external data to interfere with directing your loving attention on the subjective I am. Attend first to the feeling within you by giving it your wholehearted attention rather than reacting toward the external person or influence. Redirect your attention with trust, love, and kindness from outside to inside. This is called subjective attention. This is the way that you operate whenever the subject matter of the future you and all that you are manifesting arises in your field of awareness. The objectified opinions and information that enter your field of awareness are excellent reminders to redirect your attention to love for and belief in your ability to manifest wishes fulfilled. Once again, Neville reminds you that when you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify or alter your life as you please. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. If you have read my books and listened to my lectures over the years, you have heard me cite Carlos Castaneda's work on many occasions. He was a great teacher for me, often telling powerful stories about the exalted world of impeccability, where one transcends ordinary levels of awareness. I've become friendly with his wife, who recently celebrated her 90th birthday. She told me she'd written a 4-line poem that expressed Carlos's ideas as well as those of Neville, whose many lectures she had attended as a young woman. I asked her to send it to me so that I could include it in this section on using your attention to create the objectified life you desire. I place it here for you to consider. When you think, choose carefully the thoughts of things you'd like to be. Thoughts entertained in the minds of men become tomorrow's objectified whims. Margaret Runyon Castaneda. As you read and reread Margaret's words, note that everything that you materialize into this objectified physical reality is really nothing more than a whim. But in order to experience it as your reality, though it is but an illusion since all is continuously changing, it must come from the subjective thoughts that you, and only you, must choose very carefully. I am asking you here to ignore every bit of information that's directed at you. if it in any way contradicts the I am you've placed in your imagination. This is particularly relevant when it comes to the data you receive from your own senses. Yes, I am saying that even your own eyes and ears are objective inputs. An x-ray that shows you have a tumor that you can feel with your fingers contradicts the I am in your imagination that says I am perfect health. You want to decide to live from the end you're wishing for, not toward an end that others have decided for you. Thus, you must discard what your senses tell you and stay with your subjective attention, persistently and adamantly proclaiming, I am perfect health. Your subjective attention is unrelated to what you have conditioned your subconscious mind to believe to be your reality, as indicated by what your five senses so convincingly tell you. You are the I am that I am, and that is your tumor-free existence. Redirect your attention away from debates aimed at disputing or convincing an external attitude and toward placing your attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The outcome depends on your inner attitude, your subjective attention. You might consider being like a pit bull, teeth firmly planted on a rubber bone. You must attach yourself spiritually to what you have placed in your imagination as a future fact, and never allow anyone, anything, any circumstance, no matter how persuasive their case, to alter what you know to be your destiny. Every single item that brings up the subject of what you are in the process of creating for yourself must immediately trigger in you a response of putting all of your mental, emotional, and physical attention on the I am that you have placed in your imagination. This is where using that wonderful trash button will be immensely useful to you. You can do everything right in the first 3 foundations of a wishes fulfilled life. But if you allow your attention to be diverted by an outer stimulus and abandon even for a moment the I am in your imagination, you will delete the entire project. Develop a healthy attitude toward your highest self and all that it beckons you to be by redirecting a habit of being influenced by outer objective factors to trusting your ability to choose subjective attention and focusing on inner rather than outer directives. Abraham Maslow spent a good part of his adult life researching and writing about the idea of self-actualization. He described the small percentage of people he called self-actualizing as living at the extraordinary level of consciousness that I mentioned in the opening pages of this book. I vividly recall Dr. Maslow's assertion that one of the highest qualities these self-actualizers possess is the inclination to be independent of the good opinion of others. Dr. Maslow presented his data and explained it brilliantly to the academic community. I'm deeply attracted to this idea of living extraordinary, independent of the good opinion of others, stressing it in many of the books and recordings I've produced, starting in 1971. Dr. Maslow passed away on June 8, 1970, the same day I received my doctorate degree. I've often felt that in some mystical way he was passing the baton to me. Choosing to be aware of your attention and managing to select subjective attentiveness harmonizes with one of Dr. Maslow's most significant attributes of living a self-actualized life, trusting yourself. When you trust yourself to decide what is to be your destiny, you don't allow externals to discourage or influence you. What you place your attention on is your burning desire and intense yearning combined with an intention to make that your reality. You never allow outer circumstances to deflect you from your desires. This inner picture in your imagination is undisturbed by opinions or provocations that originate outside of yourself. Subjective attention means that you, and only you, are the subject that impacts the burning desires in your imagination. Remember, these ideas in your imagination are simply thoughts that are being treated by you as present facts. You are living and feeling as if your future dream is a present fact. Allowing a research report, news story, contrary opinion, contradictory incident, pronouncement by a government agency, new law, or anything else to take your attention away from the wishes in your imagination dismantles and destroys your desired outcome. You must have faith, and faith is attained through complete trust and confidence in the power of the one universal mind, which you are inextricably a piece of. It is the God realized you that placed those thoughts and feelings into your mind and your body. You are the subject here, and therefore you must trust in your subjective attention and not allow external objective factors to hold sway over how you use your imagination. One of the reasons I'm able to write about the hidden power of manifestation buried deep within each of us is that during childhood, I unconsciously practiced these ideas while in foster homes, and they simply became a part of who I am. Throughout my life, I've been labeled stubborn, obsessive, headstrong, and unyielding when it comes to what I have in my imagination and seeing it become my physical reality. In order to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must be able to feel it in your body long before your senses are aware of it. This requires tenacity on your part and an unwillingness to allow your imagination, where all things are created, to be objectified by anything external to yourself. When you are adamant about not letting your attention be directed by outer influences, you are in the process of developing a habit that works for rather than against you. Your inner pictures and the corresponding feelings that are connected to your vision belong only to you, and you begin to treat this inner world of thoughts and feelings as sacred territory. You make the shift from believing to knowing, and what you absolutely know is not tinged with doubt. As William Shakespeare put it, our doubts are traitors. Anyone or anything trying to diminish your inner feelings with doubt is a traitor to be banished. With a recent diagnosis of leukemia, I've done precisely what I'm writing about, in the same way that I have for my entire life, concerning my own fate and my own well being. What I know for certain is that there's an emotional component to every illness. As I indicated earlier, I view my elevated white blood cell count as part of my body employing its God realized intelligence to heal whatever damage I've caused by participating in psychologically traumatic activities, particularly in my relationships with loved ones. So rather than cursing my body's innate wisdom, I am in a profound state of gratitude for all that has come my way, including these elevated blood cell counts. The more I assume the feeling of my I am well, I am strong assertions in my imagination, the more the universe seems to send me the right information and the right people to assist me in living a wishes fulfilled life. One particular incident stands out. The day that I received the diagnosis of chronic lymphatic leukemia, I coincidentally met Pam McDonald, who had flown to Maui to see if I would be willing to collaborate with her in her integrative medicine practice. She'd been using my previously published materials with great success, helping her patients heal from a wide variety of diseases and illnesses, such as obesity, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and many cancers and addictions that are so widespread they threaten our collective physical well-being. Pam is a nurse practitioner in Northern California. When I told her of the diagnosis I'd received that very morning, she responded, "Now I know why I was sent here, not to enlist your aid in my practice, but to serve you." On the very day I received my diagnosis, Pam appeared in my life, committed to being a primary healthcare provider for me. Pam explained that correcting unhealthy nutritional habits can realign us with the specific genetic blueprint that we are born with. Amazing healing takes place with corrective genetic alignment, which treats diseases that are associated with inflammatory diets and the way our body processes fats and cholesterol. When we begin to eat consciously in harmony with our desire to feel good and be well, the markers for these supposedly incurable diseases begin to return to normal. Subsequently, she, all at her own expense, tested my blood for my APOE gene and even flew to Southern California while I was at the Chopra Center for Well-Being visiting Deepak. Step by step, she explained an easy-to-adopt nutritional plan that I've followed to a point where 2 of the 8 markers for chronic lymphatic leukemia, CLL, have headed back to normal. Pam McDonald was an angel sent to me in my time of need. She has toured with me and spoken to thousands of people at my public lectures. Pam has become a personal healthcare practitioner and has now helped me and many thousands of others to improve their health. She's written a powerful book titled The Perfect Gene Diet, explaining all this in professional detail. I'm proud to have written the foreword, testifying to the beneficial results that are waiting for you if you become conscious of your eating habits and your food intake so that it aligns with the genetic profile you've inherited. Make a commitment to your own highest state of physical well-being by becoming aware that everything you eat impacts your ability to facilitate the healing that your body craves. I decided from day one to assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled for a healthy body. The truth is, I feel good, I am well, I am strong, and I categorically refuse to entertain any other input that conflicts with my I ams. I know that when I stay in this place, aligned with my highest self and the universal one mind responsible for all of creation, almost magically, and what Carl Jung called synchronicity, things begin to happen that can't happen when one is thinking and feeling from a non-well-being state. Pam showing up that day coincidentally impacted my health, my outlook, my well-being, and yes, my healing. Her presence in my life is now affecting huge numbers of people all over the world and absolutely could usher in a new era of well-being for the entire planet. It isn't a stretch for me to say that by assuming the feeling of a wish fulfilled and using your subjective attention to deflect any and all naysayers, you and many more like you can literally end some of the epidemics that threaten the entire population of the world. It's that big. The movement of your attention and your I ams. You have many ideas concerning the person you'd like to be, as well as what you'd like to manifest in your life. You've placed those ideas into your imagination, and you're willing to live from rather than toward those ends. You recognize your opportunities to assume the feeling in your body of those wishes fulfilled, though they're currently in your mind and not yet in your everyday material world. You now need to know what to do when the subject matter of your wishes comes up in any way, be it from other people, external events, or even you tossing the matter over and over in your mind. What you do or do not do will make all the differences in the manifestation of your ideals. What you do is not necessarily what action you take, but rather where you choose to place your mental attention. What you do with what is in your mind is what I mean by your attention. So do not let your attention be affected by anything or anyone, regardless of the tone or feedback being positive or negative, around where you are in the process of manifesting. Your I ams planted firmly in your inner mental sanctum will provide you with the strength and the power to help your attention subjectively focus. What follows are ways to consider the significance of making the shift from objectives to subjective in the application of your personal attention. Your intention is to experience the healing of your body. When referring to her near-death experience, NDE, Anita Moorjani, introduced earlier in this book, said, I was shown how illnesses start on an energetic level before they become physical. If I chose to go into life, the cancer would be gone from my energy, and my physical body would catch up very quickly. I then understood that when people have medical treatments for illnesses, it roots the illness only from their body but not from their energy, so the illness returns. I realized if I went back, it would be with a very healthy energy. And then the physical body would catch up to the energetic conditions very quickly and permanently. Can you be open to the idea that Anita learned while in her near-death state that all illness starts at an energetic level? You don't have to know what the state of your energetic predisposition for some illness might be. All you need to do is align your subconscious mind with the conscious suggestion that you have an energy body. And if you can heal the energy that presuppose your illness, then you can quickly and permanently heal your physical body. You might say that this is grandiosity, and it just offers false hope to those who are incurably ill. I always love the words of Michelangelo regarding this subject. The greater danger is not that our hopes are too high and we fail to reach them, it's that they are too low and we do. Hopes are thoughts in your imagination that you can change into present day facts. You do so by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and choosing to use your new I ams as facts that you feel and give subjective attention to. When you experience any kind of maladjustment in your body, you are offered a great deal of objective information to consider. A friend of mine died from what you have. Here's some published research describing what you have as incurable. Trust modern medicine rather than these airy-fairy ideas. 1/3 of the population successfully deals with the same condition with medication, while your malady gets worse because you refuse medication. These and thousands like them are objective offerings. You need to remain alert to your subjective attention by going to the I am that you have placed in your imagination and assume the feeling in your body of that wish already fulfilled. Here's an offering from the I Am Discourses by Saint Germain. A remarkable statement that would be enormously helpful to the students would be to say, I am the miracle-working presence in everything I require to have done. This is subjective attention at work in you. You are the I am presence if you trust in your highest self, and your highest self fearlessly proclaims, I am God. Begin to trust in the I am presence. It is your very essence as a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Persistently place your fulfilled wishes in your subconscious mind with sentences like, I am the almighty governing presence of my life and my world, and I am the health, well-being, and harmony self-sustained which carries me through everything that confronts me. Trust in your inner guidance and your divine connection to the creator of worlds, rather than giving so much credence to whatever objectified information appeals in your daily life that is an assault on your spiritual nature. Your intention is to attract prosperity and abundance into your life. To attract appropriate and healthy prosperity or abundance into your life, you need to place all of your attention on what that feels like. You need to be able to feel what that is like even before it materializes to your satisfaction. By feeling those pleasant sensations in your body, you reprogram your segment of subconscious mind to harmonize with the infinitely prosperous universal subconscious mind where all manifestation originates. Your ability to wholeheartedly align with this energetic field means that you simply never again produce thoughts like, I hope someday to become prosperous. Spend some time seriously considering the implications in this passage from Neville's The Power of Awareness. I will be is a confession that I am not. The Father's will is always I am until you realize that you are the Father. There is only one I am, and your infinite self is that I am. Your will is always I will be. Chapter 3 in this book, On Your Highest Self, introduced you to the impossibility for the source of all to say, I will be, because to do so is to say, I am not. How could God say, I am not? Wanting to attract more prosperity into your life is equivalent to sending the message of I am not. As long as this is your conscious thought, you are unwittingly programming your subconscious mind to offer you experiences that match your feeling. I am not projects a state of lack. There will be an avalanche of objective thoughts and ideas thrown at you regarding the intention you have of experiencing a life of prosperity. I know this personally because I've heard it all my life. As a student of human nature, I long ago came to the conclusion that most people do not know how to make money or attract abundance. It's a rare person indeed who is the exception to this observation, although I am certain that you, yes, you, are in the process of leaving that mindset behind. Many people feel that their life isn't fulfilled because they do not trust their own highest self. Quite likely this is so because they didn't discover earlier in life that they even have a higher or highest self. When a person knows that he or she is God and has awareness of his or her own divinity, it is impossible to say, I will be. Why? Because I will be means I am not. Your subjective attention is how you choose to think, and especially feel, about what you've placed in your imagination. The words that Srimati Kashimoni, the Sacred Mother, spoke to Paramahansa Yogananda in his book Autobiography of a Yogi have stayed with me my entire adult life. Seek divine wealth, not the paltry tinsel of earth. After acquiring inward treasure, you will find that outward supply is always forthcoming. Your inward treasure is your feeling of living in a world of unlimited abundance. Refuse to allow any external idea to deflect you from what you have placed in your imagination. Always live from your subjective feelings of, I am prosperous, I am wealthy, I am content. With your imagination, you will then program your subconscious mind to align with experiences that match what you feel in your body. As a young boy living in a foster home, I always knew that I could attract spending money into my world, even though most of the children around me seemed only to know scarcity, and that's what they always seemed to attract. As a young man, I knew inwardly that money would chase me if I acted on my feelings. As Paramahansa Yogananda's Sacred Mother's advice relates, I seemed to seek the divine wealth of inner feelings and knew that the inward supply would find me. I was told by objectified attention that being a school teacher ensured that I'd never have wealth because it's a low-paying profession. But I expunged such silliness from my inner world. The same was true for my writing, my lecturing, and all of my other professional activities. I feel prosperous, and I know that I will continue to act on my inner experiences of abundance, and the universal mind will also offer the right people, events, and circumstances. My story concerning the manifestation of abundance throughout my life is never allowing anyone, no matter how persuasive, to infiltrate my imagination, which feels prosperous and able to attract unlimited abundance. By holding this inner view as sacrosanct and never allowing anything to besmirch this inner knowing, I acted in ways that produced prosperity, but the universe always seems to send me the assistance I required to make my future dreams a present fact. Here is Saint Germain in the I Am discourses on the power you possess as a result of your beingness. The moment you say I am, you set in motion this power that has inherent within it all these facilities. It has all substance and must take on whatsoever form the attention of the mind is fixed upon. The I am is the fathomless mind of God. Use this fathomless mind of yours to place your attention always on what is aligned with your source of being, the unlimited abundance that is the highest good for all concerned. Your intention is to live a life of happiness. Happiness isn't some thing in the material world that can be acquired and stored and used when needed or wanted. If it were, I'd give you a lifetime supply that would guarantee a happy life. No. Happiness is an attitude that comes from within you. It's accessible when you place in your imagination an I am statement that reflects your attunement with the simple truth that happiness is indeed an inside job. Happiness is an inner belief that you bring to everyone and everything you undertake, rather than expecting your happiness to come to you from others or from your accomplishments and acquisitions. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. State your intention to live a happy, contented life. Place it squarely in the most prominent place within your imagination, and live from that place as if it were your reality. When circumstances and or your five senses try to influence you that you're wrong, gently and with loving confidence, let the fearful or naysaying thoughts drift by like passing clouds as you focus on your nourishing imagination, which cannot be altered without your agreement. Neville speaks without hesitation on this matter. The promise is definite that if you are shameless in your imprudence in assuming that you already have that which your senses deny, it shall be given unto you. Your desire shall be attained. Don't be dismayed when you encounter people and circumstances that attempt to convince you that I am happy assertion that you've placed in your imagination is absurd. Don't let these objective attempts influence you to assume the feeling of a wish for unhappiness to be fulfilled. Persist in stating your inner mantras of I am happy and I am content, while assuming the feeling in your body of this already fulfilled, or as Neville stated, by shameless in your imprudence in assuming the feeling of happy contentment. This means that you permit only your personal subjective attention to align with your inner I am declaration. Your subconscious mind understands who you intend to be, and you will naturally discontinue inviting or entertaining any form of I have a right to be miserable. How could I ever be happy with the circumstances that define my life? My parents, spouse, sister, any external relationship makes me unhappy, and so on. How is it ever possible for God to say, I am miserable or I am unhappy? Remember, you have a highest self, and it is one with God. Here is Saint Germain speaking on this subject in a transmission received on November 24th, 1932. I would suggest that those who have been having unpleasant experiences would consciously withdraw from these conditions all power that have been giving them, mostly unknowingly. When it is necessary to discuss some condition to understand it, immediately followed by withdrawing any power that has been given it, and then know I am the harmonious presence ever pervading whatever the condition may be. When I say I am the governing presence, I am fully consciously aware that I have set in motion the full power and intelligence of God producing the desired conditions, and that they are thus self-sustained. I urge you to read and sustain this message regarding your own happiness. Be dedicated to your own subjective attention, always reminding it in yourself that I am the harmonious and governing presence. You will activate the power of God because you are at one with your all-creating source. Whether it's your health, wealth, happiness, or any other element of your entire life experience, it is essential to keep in mind the importance of the movement of your attention. You must be obstinate and persistent in not allowing the viewpoints or information of others to allow your inner world. You know what you wish to become and what you would like to manifest for yourself. Now keep your imagination so aligned and feel it in your body. Using your subjective attention will produce the desired conditions. 3 suggestions. Become conscious of objective efforts designed to persuade you to abandon the ideas and ideals you have tucked away in your imagination. As your awareness intensifies, Practice a subjective alternative to those objective efforts. Whenever your attention is drawn to negating what you are in the process of manifesting, close your eyes, sit quietly for a moment, and repeat your I am to yourself over and over until you feel it reverberating within your body. Be on guard, ready and willing to dismiss any objectified information that conflicts with your inner vision. The more you practice this, the less your old mind viruses will impact you. Soon there will be a new embedded trust in your ability to manifest the life you desire. Use what I call the superglue method for placing intentions into your imagination. Imagine you have a substance that's so strong it can't weaken or break. This is the stuff you dab on your I am as it is placed in your private inner domain. It's equivalent to saying, nothing external to myself has the power to remove what I place on my inner screen. When you say, I am healthy, I am prosperous, I am happy, or any other I am, you're using the name of God, which is inviolable as far as you're concerned. This is a spiritual decision on your part to become the ideal that you know deep within you is your calling. The superglue metaphor will remind you to use only your subjective attention when your wishes, fulfilled intentions are visible to others. Inner intentions are a private matter between you and your source of being. Inviting others to support or consider your intentions is an invitation to their objective attention. Responses are often designed to convince you that your intention is an impossible dream. You'll be in the position of defending or at the very least explaining yourself. This is an invitation to ego, who will leap at this opportunity to shift your inner intentions and dispute the external, supposedly logical or scientific facts that are coming your way. Manifestation is a spiritual exercise, thus it defies logic, facts, past experiences, scientific evidence, and all sorts of objective opinions. Keep it a private matter in the spirit of Neville. Therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. Keep your intentions private, avoiding the necessity of deflecting well-meaning opinions from external forces. I end this chapter with the words of St. Paul in his letters to the Philippians. This is one of my favorite verses in the New Testament. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. This is the ultimate use of subjective attention.